So, all right. So I thought I'll do this live. It's only at 6:30, and evening time makes it an interesting time for movementless yoga. And so I don't have to do much of actions except to say that I'm not a doll, so I can moving my hand here. So the point is, when you're doing movementless yoga, nirbija yoga, mighty yoga, in the evening, the time of the day is important because now the sun is almost in different stages of setting. So it's between the daytime and the nighttime, twilight zone. And at this time, your physiology is going through a different set of changes. Okay, I got my Moj screen on this in this direction. I got my Zoom recording happening this direction. Okay, so I will be looking from here to there. Now, when you're paying attention to your body in movementless yoga, you're thinking more in terms of rest. You're thinking more in terms of not moving, but more awareness, mindfulness, and present moment appreciation, at least to begin with. Because that helps to bring a balance between the insides of your body and the outsides. And you will not be able to appreciate what's happening in your body without paying attention to the insides, which is where the physiological change is happening. Yeah, outside it is getting kind of cooler. You can see daylight to nighttime light. The time of the day, sunlight is changing. But physiologically is where you can appreciate the benefit of this changing environmental condition. Okay, daylight to nighttime. And why is this important? Movementless yoga helps you bring a balanced awareness between the insides and outsides. We have our sense organs facing outside. Eyes, ears, nose are seven. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, knowing. Thoughts also. Our sense organs have a presence in our head. Eyes for seeing, ears for hearing, nose for smelling, tongue, mouth for tasting, skin for feeling, and thoughts, brain, all thoughts, chick, chick. All of that is also happening about here, nervous system. We say regulation. So 7 holes, 2 eyes, 2 ear holes, 2 nose holes, 1 mouth hole. 7 holes right here in the head. Yeah. And this sense organs are all faced kind of outside, at least the predominant ones. Seeing and hearing is faced outside. We listen for outside. We don't listen for inside. While we have the internal ear, we are listening for sounds from outside. Our eyes are faced outside. So what is happening inside becomes less important usually because we are looking for survival. So we are not in danger. Like animals, we are always looking for, okay, what's next? What's the next opportunity? Who's talking to me? What is happening outside? Yeah. Which light went on, or who is making any movement? You get the idea. So seeing and hearing have predominated the human development also, from animals, different stages of development. And then we have smell, taste, feeling, knowing, thinking, thoughting. Yeah. So knowing, thinking, thoughting, they're all, if you can put it to one sense, called as knowing. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, knowing. And there are different people have different stages of knowing. Some people know first standard content. Some people know 10th standard content. Some people know how to run a rocket. Some people know computer science. So our knowledge levels change. So the words we use is also dependent on the field of work we have. But knowing, knowledge, knowing is also a sense, which varies from person to person. Okay. And that is also sometimes, gut instinct, gut feeling, knowing. Yeah. That is also inside. That is when you're paying attention to it. Otherwise, we just go by, I saw the red light went on and that says stop at traffic light. So you follow those signals. And somebody told you don't do that. So that becomes a signal for don't do that. And then you stop doing something and then you're safe. So we could be focusing our signals for what to do, what not to do from outside, when there is also signals from inside, which we may or may not be aware of. Because our eyes and ears are more tuned for survival, alert and pay attention to. So sometimes we need to close our eyes for us to pay attention to what we can hear. And still hearing is predominant. And then when we can be sure that we are in a safe space, like in a room, closed door, nobody can just walk in like that. And then you have, you know that it's a safe room. Then you can kind of bring your attention from the sense of sound to what can you smell, what can you taste, what can you feel, what do you know, what kind of thoughts are there, like in the meditation. Otherwise, we are always watching out for everything is safe and everything is nice. No, always one or the other activity to do. Yeah. Evening time, at this time, it becomes easier to pay attention to your physiology. I'm in this life. So we can listen, we can also watch, but this also becomes an opportunity for a sort of guided meditation or a guided awareness exercise for what is happening inside versus outside. Because physiologically, there is a marked difference. Afternoon time, if I was doing this, there would be a different physiological experience. The sun is right on top of your head. Yeah, that is in countries where the sun is right on top of the head. Yeah. So some places have snow. Yeah, so different climate changes. Yeah. You can also notice this marked difference in the morning when the sun is just rising, when the light is moving from dark to daytime. Yes, sunrise time. Then also there's a marked physiological difference. You can know this change between cool and hot. If you can notice how your muscles are at this point in time, that would help you become a little more aware while your eyes are open, all your senses are all awake, aware. It becomes easier for you to feel your muscles. And your muscles will give you a clue about tension there is already there. And muscles are felt inside the body. Your muscles are not outside. Yeah. So you can feel your muscles. And for a beginner, it helps to notice the tension in your body muscles, different parts of the body. You might notice tension more, maybe about the elbows. Elbows, they even say elbow grease. We work to get grease enough to be able to at least oil our body. Yeah, you need money for that. So we work to get the elbow grease, so to speak. Yeah. So we also do lobbying, elbowing up way into the crowd and all that. So elbows are one of the places where we can notice survival and how much of tension, what all work we've been doing through the day, muscles would get bunched up. Elbows a good place. Yeah. So pay attention to how's your elbows, left and right sides. So you could be using the elbow, lobbying and all that stuff, one right side versus left side. Yeah. Pushing your way through making your way into getting your things done. So yeah. Then you could notice your shoulders. Yeah, you may not have sat the whole day. Women, they work standing all the time, moving. So shoulders, women, yeah. Lower back also tends to pain. When you're standing for a long time, you're doing a lot of work, one or the other responsibility, everything on your head, the lower back goes, oh, yeah, it's like that. And our human body spine is also designed in such a way that it's a little like this. So all this, the center of gravity is here. So any pressure from top, authority, boss is screaming, husbands, father-in-law, mother-in-law screaming, all pressure from top, your lower back goes, yeah, it goes like this, a little more. Yeah, and then you have to relax for it to not go too much. It can bear the center of gravity very nicely. This is called a sacral promontory. So when you can bear the balance nice enough, Then it's called this craniosacral rhythm. The sacred bone is there. So your spine, your tail, so it's like this. So there's a sacred bone, and then there's a tailbone here, about here. So when this is a lot of tensed, yeah, your spine moves flexibly, not too much, yeah. And when your spine is moving nicely, your skull is on top of the spine. So when this is more flexible, this region, your base of your skull, is less tensed. You know, some people get the cervical joint concerns, spondylitis, and all that stuff. That's because your spine is not flexible, lot of tension, and this has an effect on the connection between spine and your skull. And skull goes, oh, you're all pain, you can't listen because the spine has tension. The nerves, cranial nerves are all moving from your head through your neck to your body. Your cranial nerves get tense, your body physiology gets tensed. Here, your nerves are also tense like this, you can't listen. Husband is talking, wife is talking, can't listen because your nerves are all tense. Your nerves are also tense because your spine is taking all the tension. And this side, all the cranial nerves go from here, all the tension, you're not resting, it goes like this. Yeah. Problem. Yeah, it's like all bunched up, bunched up. And then you're praying to God. Yeah. Oh, righty. So just paying attention to the tension in your muscles. How is the tension in your muscles? At your elbows, at your shoulder, at the sides of your neck. Yeah. At your lower back, mid back, because mid back is about the region where your heart is here, your mid back is here. All emotional tension, your mid back will take the emotional tension. You're saying, not saying, you're breathing. Whenever tension happens, you do like this, or your lungs and heart all go off like this. Yeah. And then that tension is felt by your spine. And you have mid back concerns. Lower back tension, mid back tension. People tend to put on weight about here because that's about the region of the heart and the lungs, but largely the heart. And emotional tension, yeah, not expressing, everything is all held inside, and you want to just go for a walk in the park because then you have trees. You can just breathe a little more. Otherwise, inside everything, responsibility, somebody or the other expecting something or the other, and you have to talk to people, yeah. Or you can't even be silent because if you're silent, they'll ask you why you're silent. When you're talking, they say, why are you so, tense? So you speak also problem, you don't speak also problem. Yeah. So, and then if you do things problem, you don't do things also problem because somebody or the other is always finding a fault. Or you're doing stuff and people are not appreciating what you're doing. Yeah. And then all of that, you can't even say it. You can't say, okay, now appreciate my work. Because, and then if they appreciate it is not appreciation. It's not naturally coming. Yeah. So all of that inside your heart, oh, like, ooh, heavy, heavy. Your mid back is paining, lower back is paining, can't talk. And then when somebody is saying, I have a little back pain, a little bit of what all is happening. Yeah. How much of maybe support or somebody just talking nicely, kindly to them is not happening. Or something worse, they are just not resting, relaxing periodically through the day. Work, 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 work. If they just give themselves some time to just rest and relax their muscles, simply notice how their muscles is and relax the muscles in different parts of their body. Over time, that's like the fuse won't build up. Yeah, the fuse threshold is not building up. Regularly, you're de-stressing, removing that stress from the muscles. Your joint function for a long time without going into creaky arthritis or osteoporosis or any of that stuff. The fluids in your body doesn't go dry or leaky or problematic. Yeah. Cardiovascular concerns, muscular strains, tension, lot of that reduces. And you'll have a long shelf life. Yeah. Functioning life in service without needing like a vehicle needs regular servicing, you would be taking care that the stress is all reducing regularly and you're in function for a long time. Yeah. And then you can change what all activities you're doing, you can delegate. So many people you're not the only one who's doing all the work. When you share the load, a building, a banyan tree, has many, many roots, many pillars. That's also how the family grows. You know what all the business the family is doing can get better. If you're only going to be playing small and you're doing all the work, and when you can take the support of other people, that's when you and your family grow. Otherwise, you're playing a small life. When you play with people, you're living a big banyan tree life. Yeah, a lot of things can become possible, like an enterprise, when an empire. Yeah. So such things can all become possible. So notice where the stress and tension is, and notice what support you're not already taking. For example, resting every now and then. Are you drinking sufficient water? Are you taking time to drink sufficient water? Are you having sufficient vegetables? Also greens, because that'll support your body from inside. Animals run around, survive, and all of that stuff. Plants are nicely rooted, and then colorful greens and fruits and flowers and enjoying the sunlight. And they need all of that to live. So when you're eating plants and greens, the information of how to have sunlight and wind and nice nutrition, that information is coded into the vegetables and greens. Like information, how do you say? You install a software in a computer, all that is there in that particular software, you can then play it. You can play a video, you can play songs. Vegetables and greens, etc., seeds, nuts, fruits, roots, they are all different bits of information, like software, different kinds of software. When you eat them, the information of how to have such wellness goes into your body. You don't have to, that's effortless yoga. Nature's patented products. You know how long it's taken? Other planets haven't figured out how to have these plants and leaves and all of these fruits and nature's patented, Earth's patented products. Yeah, it's available for you to buy into your market. And curd also, curd and water and all that. Paisa you cannot paisa kodakattu. But indakam pada, you can't manufacture it in a factory, which is why it is nature's part of nature's infrastructure. Like Google, Apple, they have infrastructure, company infrastructure. Plants and sunlight and wind and trees are all Earth, the company called Earth's infrastructure. Yeah. Install the software and function better. Yeah. Thank you so much for your kind interest. I hope this has been of value to you. Slowly, slowly. Software update, software and hardware update will all get better. Thank you so much for your kind interest. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.